There we go. Now we're good. It'll be 2 minutes before they can understand. But Ruin being taken into the backyard yet again. Shoved straight back out of there. Zyklon Wave, very, very strong showing. His mob also took damage. Out here in the mid, though, Jay-Zoo with those bow staff throws in the early game. Definitely, very, very strong. Take a look at Wubby being knocked down to 80% HP. Now, in the bottom, Nawa and Riser, they're going to be bashing it up like none other. Though Cakes is going to be in a lot of trouble here as Nautilus is pushing him back on the tower. Spin Sickle coming out very, very close to being dead, but not enough. Wubby also not able to get the swarm shot off. Jay-Zoo being a great man, taking it out, but oh, now Cakes taking the full brunt of that swarm shot. Definitely not going to be looking good for him. Needs to get that passive HP regen as soon as possible as the dual health potions are being popped on both Wubby and Nautilus. Meanwhile, in the world of the top lane, you're going to see Mob and Ruin try to be as aggressive as possible to dodge the inertia blades and, of course, the skill rotations coming out there from Zyku. But at the mid, that's going to be most likely where the first blood will happen as, well, Bastion versus Bastion. And Riser, oh no, there's the Zydek charge. Oracle Breath went out on him. Close to that tower range, you can see of that small highlight that just came and went. Definitely strong there. Now, both Jay-Zoo and Cakes going at it. Borbus Seekers popping up on the creeps, and Jay-Zoo definitely great mitigating the damage. Tranquil Fountain will heal them up to full very, very shortly. And Nawa now being the victim of Riser. Great Zydek charge as well with the Breath of Oracles, but Nawa's using the pet well. Ooh, so close, but the health potion will end up popping. I mean, the changes to these pets, definitely phenomenal there for choosing who you really want to have. I don't know the name of that flame pet, but I do know it provides a slow and extra damage over time as Cakes gets over with the whirlwind, but he's taking too much of the spin cycle. Jay-Zoo gets a double stun, bow staff throw procking up. Wubby might be going down. It's so close as a double spin cycle pops out yet again from Nautilus. Cakes trying, but now Cakes taking so much damage from the creeps. Great whirlwind behind him. Bow staff throw knocking Nautilus down along with that dark storm. So close to the first bloods. We can all taste it as the top lane doesn't have anything noteworthy going on yet, but that's okay. We'll be back with them shortly as now Cakes and Jay-Zoo are healing up yet again. Wubby and Nautilus. Wubby's only saving grace is going to be, of course, the healing potions that he's ferrying over to him yet again from the courier. Nautilus needs another healing potion as well. We'll see that squirrel hopefully come out shortly as he's still taking more bow staff throws from Jay-Zoo. The healing rods are what keep most of these guys in the matchup again, as well as Riser versus Nawa still going at it. The Breath of Oracle's coming back and forth. Nawa looks to be like he's in a tiny bit of trouble, but overall there won't be a Bastion versus Bastion kill until level 6. Well, as I say that, Riser just digs level 6. So now we have to watch the bottom lane for the first blood as well. Though Cakes, he's going very low. Jay-Zoo's going up there for a defensive stun. Not going to make that connect. Definitely want to dodge the damage from Wubby coming out there. He's doing some great work with those swarm rockets. Picked up another whirlwind. Bow staff throw, slowing down Nautilus so much, but Bo, not being level 6, can't really knock him down, as now Nawa pressured under the tower by Riser. That's the difference between your damage build versus just your resistance build there. Riser with that glacial gem definitely able to out-harass Nawa in the lane. Up in the top lane, still nothing to report. Ruin and Mob being pushed back by the inertia blade, and of course the Dark Storm and Whirlwind combination coming out there from Zyku. Mob taking a lot of damage, under half now, but in the mid lane, this is where the action's really gonna happen. We'll swap it back up to the top, double check really quick, but no. In the mid lane, still a little bit more action happening as we are having the towers being pushed out. Hail getting very, very close to level 6. The second that he sees it, that's going to be one dead Ray. Very, very close. And on the ropes also, looks like Riser could do a dive. He could do his Zydek charge, pop the Chosen One, and get a quick and easy kill at the bottom before the tower destroys him. But now Wubby being lifted up yet again. Jay-Zoo throws out the post-staff throw, popping the shield up. Oh man, and now still picking up the first blood. That is going to be Cakes. Good auto attack, netting him that extra bonus gold. At the bottom lane, Riser healing up. Very, very close to going in on Nawa. Full skill cooldown rotation. There goes the auto attacks. And Ooh, Chosen One got popped by Nawa. I think that's going to be a bit of a mistake, though. It's not going to really proc on top of Riser at all. So he's going to use that extra damage onto the creeps while he has it going. Then, still, right now, I want to say Illuminati's going to have the early game advantage, though. Normally, they do have a great early game. Mid-game, they start slacking off a little bit as Vex totally dominates the rotation and the objective kills. If Illuminati can rotate and get the objectives faster, definitely will put them in that position to fully dominate out. Cakes and Jesu, let's take a look at their actual GPM. Cakes sitting at 399, Jesu at 402, definitely being higher benefactors this time. That's what we like to see, and them not trapped down in that 290 mark that Cakes was last game. Now Jesu's going to hop in there. Great use of those spring boots. Gets the stun on top of Wubby. Ults him back, though Nali's comes straight back in for the counter. Great Bedlam Bolt on top of Wubby as well. Jesu doing his best to mitigate the damage with those Vorbis Seekers, though the Swarm Shot comes out, proccing on Cakes yet again. Not enough to take him out of the fight, but it is enough to slow him down and put him into the danger zone HP as Wubby heals up yet again. The Orbital Drop is ready to be put into play. Nali's has enough mana regen from that Crystalline Ship to really make someone's day just not what they would like at the end of it. And then at the bottom lane, well, Bastion versus Bastion. I'm not 110% sure. Let's see, Riser 412 GPM. Yeah, Riser definitely being the dominant force in this lane with that GPM factor. He's going to out-farm very, very quickly. So, VexX Gaming, they're going to need to send their rotation down to the bottom if they really want their Bastion to, well, hold it steady. Now, don't get me wrong, folks. The Bastions, if they get off the perfect skill rotation, they can kill each other no matter the gold difference on a normal basis. But the sole fact you have Riser picking up a dampening cloak first, it's going to make Nawa hard pressed in order to get off a successful 3-skill rotation. And take a look, there goes the Zydek charge, the Breath of Oracles, taking Nawa down so low he has to pop yet another health potion, which is setting him in a huge gold deficit right now. He's unable to get last hits, he's really unable to get initiation off, even if he could get a Zydek charge off, and right now dropping off the Chosen One. I mean, Riser has so much regen, he can most likely get away. See, the Zydek charge is missed, the Breath of Oracles can come up, but now that the Chosen One is off, Riser can pop it in, though Wubby with that rotation down there. Vorbis Seekers coming out, mitigated by the creeps, though. Oh, there comes the counter ult by Ruin into the bottom lane as well, pushing him back. Again, Nawa taking down Riser to a danger zone, but not able to capitalize on it, as Wubby's going to stop Ruin from porting back to the base. Gonna be hit by those swarm rockets, slowed down to a crawl, but no one left to capitalize on it. But Nali's is left alone. Cakes coming back to the lane will try to do that solo farm, keep it going against him. Mob forced into a defensive position as he was left alone from the Vex. This is going to be amazing, though, as Jesu comes in. There goes the stun on top of Zyku, pushing both of them under the tower. Wayne Zyku, but there's that defensive avalanche on top of Jesu. Bedlam Bolt taking Mob out of the fight, but Jesu still has enough to maybe pursue. No. That will be a kill on Malady, though, that Jesu did not pick up. I guess Mob picked that kill up on Malady. Nice use of the death ray there, along with the tower damage. Great ultimates coming in from Jesu yet again, though, with Mob dying, that's really going to put a dent in his plans of world domination. Now, great use of the shield on top of Nali, so Jesu's coming in yet again. Big Cal missing the stun, though. Wubby, Vorbis Seekers not finding their mark, just mitigated by the creeps yet again. Jesu dampening hood, first item, real item out there on the board. Definitely going to put him in another tip-top position there. Cakes is doing A-okay. Looking for an item pickup from him soon. He's just been ferrying potions back and forth. Not 100% sure what he's going to go for first, but he does have spring boots. I mean, Jesu and Cakes both have the spring boots. That'll put them in a position to get a stun if they need it to, or in a perfect position to do that golden skill rotation of the Whirlwind and Darkstorm Bedlam Bolt. And, well, I can only say that the Inner Rage can be the final touch to that. Meanwhile, though, Vorbis Seekers, again, Wubby, while he's trying, he could have such high damage potential. Hitting the creeps over and over is not going to net you the kill. You have to be patient. Bait them out where there's not a creep wave, and then, only then, will he really be the dominant force. Riser, speaking of which, turning his dominant force into a captain's crest here. Definitely able to out-tank Nalba's damage whenever he goes in. Not going to see this Bastion lose the lane anytime soon. I mean, you're going to have Wubby ult down in there, use the orbital drop, and get the kill well before you have the other Vex rotate out here from Illuminati. Speaking of Illuminati up here in the top lane, though, Crystalline Shiv on Ruin definitely helping him out there. The Antimatter Shield already doing a 404.1 whopping help on the shield there. Unfortunately, Mob has a little bit too much delay trying to pick him off. Jzu might be killed here in just a few seconds. No, uses the Inner Rage to getting on out of there. So that will keep him A-okay as Riser going a little bit low on mana, though. He's keeping Nawa in his place, stopping him from the last hits, which is, that's very good. But if you're not able to get a few kills on him, your farm is going to be slowed down somewhat, and it puts you in a high vulnerability being pushed that far up the lane for a Vex ultimate and gank. If both Nalise and Wubby came to the bottom lane, they would definitely get a kill on Riser. But unfortunately, they can't really leave their positions right now in this early game because Jzu and Cakes will then take that farm away, dominate, take out those towers, and just smack them down. Though that was an excellent ultimate up here to the top lane by Wubby. Did not find anyone with that orbital drop. 0% damage and stuns that came out from him. The Vorbis Seeker, excuse me, not the Vorbis Seekers, the Swarm Shot, it did hit Mob for a bit of damage, but Mob is now playing very defensive after that first death. I would be surprised if he dies again, or maybe not. I don't know. Zyku is right here. Inertia Blade goes on, and there goes Zyku. Great Whirlwind coming up. There's the Darkstorm Bedlam Bolt, but there's an excellent shield coming out there from Ruin. Not enough, though. Picked him off. Can he get the counter kill on Wei is the question. Oh, the Inertia Blade goes off. He just needs one more auto attack, and there we go. Takes the kill. Now Cakes is going to be in a whole heap of trouble as Nalise, Zyku, and the rest of the team are moving up. Jzu comes up, though. Inner Rage does pop. Ultimate misses absolutely everyone. Now he's taking a lot of damage. Ruin having to drop that defensive shield on him as well as Cakes moves up on top of Zyku, dropping down a great Whirlwind to stop both Nalise and Wubby. Bedlam both on Nalise as well. Ace in a whole lot of trouble. Cakes just needs to get up. The boots are still on cooldown, though. So close that he can taste it, but now there is Ace healing back up. Great clutch use of the healing potion there as well. Good trade-offs coming off there from both teams. Not 100% sure who's going to be the leading benefactor after all these team fights, but still, in the early game, domination is going to have to go towards Illuminati. And another 8 minutes, though, we'll have to see, because 386 GPM on Zyku, 320 GPM on Bastion, 392, though, on Hale, sitting very close to that 400 GPM mark. 361 on Ace, but Vex at 353. Definitely not where he wants to be right now. He needs to have that extra 50 GPM, mainly because Jzu sitting around in the lane. He did kind of go off and do his own thing for a little bit. Still, over 400 GPM. Malady, 395 GPM, 447 with Riser on Bastion. Sitting very, very pretty in that solo bottom lane. Mob, even though he's died twice now, still sitting with 422 GPM. And Ruin, one kill with not on anything else, 419 GPM. Ruin again going for that double global presence there with the orbital drop and the warp boots. Can't blame him for that one. Allow him to move around the entire map very quickly. And makes his Vex, of course, just oh so valuable as Cakes. Great use of hopping in there. Jzu, great bow staff throw. Inner Rage pops. Gonna ult him back maybe. Ooh, Bedlam Bolt. It does a lot of damage to him, but the shield too strong. Will keep him alive to see another day, and he gets an extra 35 gold for destroying that Tranquil Fountain. And the top lane, Ruin and Mob still pushing it up. I do believe that Wei has a bit more farm, though. Unfortunately, we had a Bastion disconnect in before pause. And with that pause, I am going to drink a slight amount of water. But as this counts down, we've already seen the GPM. It is in favor of Illuminati right now, but VexX Gaming has been known to come back and dominate it. All it's going to take is a few Baldiers, which are up right now, by the way, for them to really start dominating again in all fields. If Illuminati chooses to actually take these Baldiers, because they have enough damage right now, level 9s and 8s on their team, Vex global presence there, if they chose to do a quick Baldier by rotating, it would benefit them, but at the same time, it's just, with these two teams, don't know if it's worth it because you will have that collapse come out from VexX Gaming, and I don't know if they really have what it takes to mitigate all that damage. Cakes building a very glass cannon build right now. Down at the bottom lane, you have back at the base now, Bastion, Riser. He's got a very tanky build right now. That will help him out, but you're still going to have to face the damage output of ZyQ and Wei, which they are building full glass cannons themselves as well. They can really take someone out well before anything else can happen. Nali's, again, damage ace build, you have to be careful. If you give these guys an inch, they're going to take a mile away from you. Or I guess you would, in empirical terms, you would say you give them a centimeter, they're going to take a few yards. I don't even know. But the point of it being is you can't afford to make mistakes against VexX Gaming, which is why I understand Mob plays more defensively, Ruin plays more defensively than they would in any pub match. But that defensiveness 9 times out of 10 is what is shutting them out of these fights. So they're going to have to be very careful if they're going to want to win game number 2 here. There's not much more to comment on right now. We can tell the items across the board and everything else.
Yeah, he's back.
Oh, yes, that's right. He is reconnecting 22%, so we'll be back in the game in just a few short moments. Luckily, he's got his PC made out of cobblestone and not out of wood, so he does load rather quickly. We do want him to get, upgraded to iron very soon, though.
An enemy hero has rejoined the battlefield.
And with him returning, we'll see that unpause happen right now. Riser unpausing it. Gotta love these gentleman pauses in these tournaments. They already have the respect. So, there we go with the Vex initiation on top of Ruin. Ruin taking the avalanche and everything else to the face. Wubby not even being stunned. And that whirlwind is all it took for a kill for Vex. And you know what? With that kill, look at that rotation out here to Baldir. Not even going to go to the mid lane. And now Vex goes for the objectives. Jezu knows this, however. And if Jezu and Cakes can go in, they can stop the Baldir. The question is, will they be able to do it? There's no one else there. You need all 4 members of your team, and you're going to have a Bastion at the bottom lane. That's not going to bode well for them at all, as VexX Gaming goes for the Baldir secure. First one of the game. Knock it on the board. Go, here we go, punishment time. Ooh, look at that. Jump boots coming out there from ZyQ, but he still takes the full brunt of the damage coming out there from Ruin and Jezu, though they are taking way too much AoE damage coming out there from Nawa. But Jezu, great sacrificial ultimate, taking the ace out of that fight. Ruin, though, terrible damage coming onto him as well, as Wei and Nawa move in. Wei jumping straight up there with Bounder, and the tower's gonna find its mark on Ruin, and absolute double kill coming out there for VexX Gaming. That Baldir 2 for 3. Well, the Baldir is what Vex got. 1 dead versus 3 kills. Yeah, VexX Gaming still being the ultimate benefactors of that one. You're gonna have to play a little bit more proactive there. I do believe that Illuminati can take game number 2, though. They still have pretty high GPM, but again, now all members of Vex slowly climbing up in that 400 GPM mark. They're gonna be hard pressed. And by they, I mean Illuminati is going to be hard-pressed to really win game number 2 if they don't step it up to the plate and start taking those objectives swiftly. Though Jezu moving up into the middle lane, this boat can be a huge asset out here to Illuminati, as Ruin grabbed a great kill out here on Hale. Very smart moves. ZyQ also in the danger zone with his HP. I do believe Ruin wants to go in on that as Riser comes in as well, though he's going to pay for it with his life. He just wants to get off just enough damage. Oh, yep, that's right. Taken out of there by the Malady. And now Riser going straight to Wubby. Pops the Chosen One. And there we go. Slowing him down to a crawl. Cakes in there as well. Great whirlwind. The Dark Storm comes. That is going to be a 3-for-1 trade-off there. Illuminati showing that they are definitely not out of this matchup. Now Jezu versus the Nali's farm at the mid. Jezu still, he's sitting a little bit lower than he was. He was in the 400 mark for the most part of the game. Now he's at 388. Of course, he was just killed, so that really does affect your GPM quite a bit. But Nali's sitting at 376 as well. Therefore, I'm going to vote that their farm is 96% even, as Illuminati takes the tier 1 tower at the top lane. Very good pickups for them as well, but as Ravage was saying last game, once you take the tower, that gold is done. Vex specializes in taking out the objectives. The more objectives they take, the more continual free farm they have. If Illuminati can just take 2 or 3 Baldirs, that will really change game number 2 for them. But they're going to have to be in position at the right time. As ZyQ is in position at the exact wrong time. Great defensive avalanche by Wei, but again, Whirlwind, Dark Storm, both the Bedlam. just cake. That is cake all day. Though in the bottom, we have Mob now. He needs to get his free farm up. He's doing decently right now. 444 GPM, has a Demon Fang. Looking for him to start stacking up the power very, very, very soon. And as Baldir is up, Illuminati are going to be the ones grabbing it at the beginning. If they can, they've got way moved off. Illuminati knows they have to collapse on this right now. And there we go, collapsing on the Baldir. That's going to up their GPM and experience exponentially here. As long as Jesu does not die in the middle lane, everything will be going their way. And that will be the first pickup of Baldir for Illuminati. Tied at a 1-to-1 pickup on Baldir so far in this game. Now keep them on par exactly where they want to be. Speaking of which, look at all that. 480 GPM, 450. They're all sitting in the mid to high 400s and the low 400s for VexX Gaming. All Illuminati has to do is maintain this gold lead and then start winning the team fights, as experience really does matter. They're not fully leading that experience conga line as of yet. They will be shortly though, but if they can dominate these team fights, they will take this game. Jesu in position along with Riser and Cakes. We do see that there's going to be the rotation coming out there from the top lane, but remember, Vex does not ever have to be anywhere else. He can always ult in at a moment's notice. Ruin going with his normal Vex build there, has the Dragon Shield. Dragon Shield providing a 377. Antimatter Shield to 601. And there we go. Swing, batter, swing to the bottom lane. Both Wubby and Ruin are down there. Mob in a lot of trouble, having to move straight down, but Riser's coming in there as well as the Vorbis Seekers pop on top of both Wubby and Nawa. Chosen one being popped by Riser. There goes the slow on top by both Nawa and Wubby. And there's the double kill coming out. Excellent rotation by Illuminati. Picking up those kills, saving Mob, all in a day's work with the lives of heroes. And with the warp boots, Ruin goes straight back to the top lane, continues the farm, doesn't even break a sweat. And that is why the warp boots are just a staple item for Vex. Riser, he's been setting well. 496 GPM. Doesn't matter if he's on Vermilion, Bastion, or anyone else. He just keeps that farm high and he will soar through the skies into that amazing lead position. Meanwhile, Wei, MVP over here for VexX Gaming, 427 GPM, not shabby at all. His item build is one to die for. Already an extra 340, 9.5 shield. Inertia Blade, kind of do a lot of work here. You can already see that damage starting to stack up. Sweeping Strikes, 231 base damage compared to 120. Not shabby at all. Looking for him to get level 11 very soon so we can have that level 2 avalanche. And he will be on his way to victory. As Mob comes in, his freeze rate, as you can see, it's not doing much damage. 101 bonus, but his power is just not there yet. That's the part of the sacrifice that you have to make whenever you pick up that mana ring. Though, you're losing out on the power that you could have, but with him spamming off those mines, it is a must-have in these situations. Up in the top lane as well, Ruin versus Wei. Both of those guys are going at it. But the rotation up here from Bastion is really what's going to make this team fight happen. Unfortunately for them, though, I do believe, yeah, Ruin does have 5 seconds for him to just get out of there with his ult. He knows what's coming for him. He has the mana for it. All he has to do is just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. What do? We just keep swimming. Back over there to the rest of the members of Illuminati. Definitely saving his life as Mob just Chinese free farms his way up to the tower. The Wubby doing a lot of damage out there to him. Vorbis Seekers proccing him because there are no minions. He's down under half HP, doing his best to stick it to Wubby. Wubby pops a health potion, Mob pops a health potion, and both of them are going straight back to full. Not much of a trade, and Baldir went down yet again to Illuminati. Very clutch pickup by them as well. That makes him a 2-for-1 on the Baldir compared to VexX Gaming. Now, there we go. The objectives definitely going to be putting them in the high, still keeping them in that 400s for the GPM. Exactly what they want to see. 300s and some 400s now for for VexX Gaming. And this is what we were talking about. You keep those objectives going. That is gold for the rest of the game. And, ooh, oh my, Sindara is under siege. Illuminati going to pick her up very quickly. I do believe Vex knows it, sees what's going on, though. There goes the swarm rockets. They're like, oh, there they are. There they are. There goes the defensive shield on top of him. Way, though, being danced around. Bedlam bolt to the face. Got the avalanche off on Ruin, but did absolutely no damage whatsoever. Riser, ham mode activated, taking too much damage from the Darkstorm. Great use of the counter golden gate there from Cakes, though, saving his life. And Sindara goes down to Illuminati, and Wubby gets that Bedlam bolt to the face, taking him out of the match. That is a Sindara, and 2 kills picked up for Illuminati so far. So good as they push up the middle lane. Going back up to top, though, Ruin versus Nawa. Nawa's going to be hard-pressed to really find a kill on him, as Ruin is finally skyrocketing into a good farm position. Riser already has that blade at the ready to be picked up there. As you can see, he just needs the little swirl here to bring him back, or excuse me, the chirple maybe? I don't know what the courier is called. The courier to bring him that Inferno brand. 53.2 magic damage per second. Oh yes, it is time for the Happy Go Fun push mid as Krytos is released. Meanwhile, as a distraction, Ruin at the top lane, he does have that orbital drop in play at the ready, looking for who's going to go onto the big monkey man as Zyku takes that ranged rock to the face. Great reworks by him as well, and jumps straight onto the tower. Tower is disabled, pushing it back. All members of Illuminati now having to dive back into a defensive position. We're just waiting. As you can see, Ruin is here at the ready, looking for that perfect orbital drop as the secondary tier 2 tower goes into play. And here's Johnny! Ruin coming in, gets the stun on top of at least as, of course, Jesus pushes them all back. Bada bing, bada boom, skills flying out there like it is Hurricane Katrina hit in the middle of this field as Nawa now being pushed back yet again. Vormis Seekers from Ruin doing so much damage. 3 members down there due to those AoE abilities coming out. Mob with that great stun locking them into play, allowing the maximum damage to come out there, of course, from the Malady. Cakes again showing his weight in gold, and this is going to be a generator coming down as Naliz gets held down by Jesu. Inner Rage so strong. For those of you that want a little bit of a quick recap of what happened here, Jesu comes in there with the Inner Rage, gets off the primary stun, pushes them back straight into the mob force field of destruction there, holding him down there for another second, and then the whirlwind comes down with the Darkstorm being present the entire time. Vormis Seekers come out, Swarm Shot comes out, Bow Throw comes out, and that is GG team wipe against VexX Gaming. Illuminati here, game number 2, lighting it up like 1999, bringing us straight back down into, you guessed it, another Baldir kill. Taking those lessons from VexX Gaming and how they normally dominate, the tables are turned, flipped up on their heads, as Illuminati shows us how it's done. And I could not be prouder of the turnout of this game so far, as I am right at this moment in time. Now we can actually take a look after that super cool goal has came right on towards us. Let's see here. Oh, none of my stuff is pinned. That's terrible. I need to have that pinned so I don't have to hold tab for 5 million years. But Mob, Wound Splitter coming out. 138.9 bonus damage on the freeze rate, but he's got the attack speed of a rabbit. We'll put the attack speed of a rabbit. Definitely going through there. Cakes, Bedlam Bolt up to 820. Very, very soon we're going to see him have the Grimwire up and start doing over 1,000 magic damage. Meanwhile, Jesu with the bow that I've been wanting to show you guys all along. This is the bow build. You have your bow's throw, setting up 127 damage to do a little bit and slow it down. Every Winter Charm to slow him down even more. Healing Rod to give you that survivability. And now AoE damage from the Inferno brand. Tranquility Fountain is dropped down as the tier 2 tower is under attack at the bottom lane. Nawa uses the Zydek charge to get straight out of harm's way. That is going to be 2 Inferno brands out on the board here for the Illuminati. Meanwhile, Zyku going for that damage up build with the Grimwire, stacking it up, 400.3 shield. While it seems like that would be just fantastic, all you have to do is stand around both Riser and Jesu. Jesu doing 41.9 magic damage per second with his, and of course 53 coming out there as the initiation happens, and smack down down from Wubby. There goes the death ray avalanche on top of Mob. He uses the industrial revolution of the invisibility there to hide himself. And now Riser picks up a kill. And I mean, baby, please. Let's get a quick replay on that one sometime. But dear Lord, we saw the perfect initiation come out there from VexX Gaming. But the damage output right now is so high with having those dual Inferno brands along with the bow staff throw and everything else. That is going to be game 2 going to Illuminati. And so, for the first time in StrifeHQ history, we have game 3 coming at you next. We're going to give you a quick screenshot, talk about these item builds and everything else. I'm happy. Are you happy, OPT?